Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over ways that you can deal with overthinking. If you deal with overthinking, then this video is probably for you. These are ways that I deal with overthinking because I have a problem with overthinking a lot, like to the point where it stresses me out. So if that is something that you are interested in or wanting to get more information on, make sure you keep on watching this video. If you are new to my channel, my name is Keyerakaye. For those who are turning back to my channel, thanks for coming back to watch my videos. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, have the notifications turned on so you don't miss when I upload videos. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Also, leave some comments down below of any ways that you deal with overthinking if you have this issue, or if you just want to leave a comment, show some love, make sure you leave it down in the comment section and we can go ahead and get into this video. If I sound a little congested, it's because I'm getting over a minor cold. That's probably why I haven't uploaded this past week. Also, my laptop charger broke and I couldn't upload videos, so that's why I haven't uploaded within the past week. That's probably why I sound like this, because I feel like I still sound a little like congested. I really didn't have like any serious coughing or like runny nose or anything like that. It was more so like, it was just, I don't know if it was like maybe like an allergy or something. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't like a typical cold to a point where it had me down. But my voice, you can just like hear it in my voice. So I really didn't want to like film anything. I feel like I sound better. Because I really didn't feel that bad, but I feel like I sound better, so that's why I'm like actually here recording this video now. But I could kind of still hear it like in this area, like I feel like I sound like nasally or something. But anyway, the first thing to deal with overthinking is to actually accept the fact that you have an issue at hand that you need to deal with. Because most of the time, overthinking comes from avoiding things that we need to deal with, right? So like, let's say if you have a suppressed emotion, like an emotion that you just keep bottling up, it's going to result in overthinking. Your emotions, every time you just one little trigger, you can see a word, hear a song, and next thing you know, you're going to overthinking because of this trigger. You actually need to deal with that problem at hand and make sure you deal with it properly. Don't try to suppress your emotions and bottle them up. The first step to dealing with overthinking is actually accepting the fact that you have an issue that you need to deal with. Whether that is a mental issue, a mental something that's all in your head, or is something that's dealing with your actual emotions, like, or if you're going through grief or heartbreak, you have to actually deal with those emotions. It could just be the simplest day-to-day life problems, like, oh, you have bills past due, or you have like certain projects that you need to get out, or if you have all these errands that you need to run, and sometimes you can just go into this mode of overthinking and it can kind of stress you out. You actually have to deal with it, sit down with yourself and deal with the problem, accept the fact that you have a problem to deal with, and that is the first step to dealing with overthinking, is accepting the fact that you have something to deal with. The next way to deal with overthinking is to actually let your thoughts pass. Do not try to suppress your thoughts with other thoughts. That's actually what leads to overthinking, is when you try to keep burying your thoughts. Actually let that thought pass. Actually ask yourself, why does this thought keep coming up to me? Why do I keep thinking about this? Let the thought pass, and it will be so much easier for you to deal with your emotions later on in the future, especially regarding the same emotion. Do not try to build up thoughts and try to cover it up with other thoughts or just thinking about other things. You actually have to deal with what you're thinking about or what you keep overthinking about. And the way that you can do that is actually by meditating. There's different ways to meditation. You can actually just sit in silence to meditate. You can listen to meditation music for like calming anxiety, overthinking, and stress. There's so many playlists on YouTube that you can find when dealing with meditations and guided meditations. You can actually do guided meditations. You can just listen to just nature sounds. You can listen to just soft music, classical music. You can pretty much listen to whatever you want to, just as long as it's not something that's going to force you to overthink. I personally like to listen to meditation music or sound bowls, or just listening to nature sounds, just like the ocean or just like the forest and stuff like that, like birds. Like that actually helps with calming my anxiety, like in like dealing with overthinking and stuff like that. So that step, like I said, is to just let the thought pass, deal with what that thought is. Do not try to suppress that thought with other thoughts, because you're going to have to deal with it later on, and it's going to be more severe because you tried to suppress it so long. The longer you suppress your emotions, the more it weighs on you, the more stressed out you can become. You can become more distracted. You can become depressed. You can build up more anxiety. Let yourself feel and think those thoughts that you have, and do not deny yourself the right to feel the emotions that you have. If you have a certain thought about something or a certain feeling about the things that you're thinking about, let yourself have that right to feel that way. Do not suppress your thoughts because you think that's not the way it's supposed to be. If you feel a way about something, let yourself feel that way. Brush it off. Even if you brush it off, just know that you came to one with the way that you feel and the way that you think, and don't just try to suppress your thoughts, because that can just lead to more overthinking in the future. Another way that you can deal with overthinking is to write it down. Whatever you are thinking or feeling, write it down. That is journaling in the morning or right before bed. You can journal any time of the day. If you're feeling a certain emotion and you don't want to think it or say it, well, if you got to write it, you got to think it. But if you don't want to say it out loud, write it down. Write it down. Even if you write it down to burn it, write it down. Write it down and bury it. Write it down. Journal it in your journal. Write it down. Express how you are feeling. Do not let those emotions and thoughts build up, because it's just going to cause more stress and anxiety. There's so many ways that you can express yourself in writing. You can express yourself by, like I said, writing it down and burning the piece of paper that you write it on. Just let it be what it is. You can actually bury it. Another way that goes along with step 2 with dealing with overthinking is actually journaling, meditating, and then journaling again. That's exactly how you feel, raw and uncut. And then you're going to meditate. Get yourself in a deep meditation. Let yourself feel those thoughts, express those emotions, and then journal again and write down how you feel again. I guarantee you're going to see a difference in how you can work through this problem to that problem, because you allowed yourself to think about it. You allowed yourself to express those emotions. Let yourself think exactly how you feel, and you express yourself in the way that you felt that you should. And it's going to be easier to write it down without so much build up anger, emotions, or frustration. So that, like I said, that is another way that you can do it. Journal, meditate, journal. Or you can just strictly journal, or you can just strictly meditate, whatever works better for you. So if you are into journaling, I do have some custom journals on my site, shopkeyerakaye.com. I had to throw me a little promo in there for a second, because I did talk about journaling in this video. I'm actually wearing my Somewhere in the Multiverse shirt right now, so make sure y'all check that out on my site. It is now available. Sorry, let the lights come back in. Okay, so make sure y'all check out my shop, K Clothing and Accessories. Make sure y'all get you something. Holiday seasons are coming up. You want to make sure you get you or your friends something, get your mom something, get your brother something, get your sister something, get everybody something, okay? This is just 2 of my mini journals that I do have. So these are just standard journals that you can write in, write down your thoughts, write down your emotions. We don't want to deal with overthinking in 2022, so let's get this in check in 2021. Going along to the next step, if you don't like to write down, or if you don't like to meditate, what you can do is actually say it out loud. Say it out loud to yourself, okay? When you are feeling a certain type of way and you know it's going to lead to overthinking, and you got thoughts in your mind, say it out loud. Say it out loud. Say how you feel. You don't have to say it to anybody else. A lot of times we get caught up in not having someone to talk to when we can actually talk to ourselves. It's not crazy for you to talk to yourself. It's not crazy for you to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. And actually, having a conversation with yourself is actually better sometimes than having a conversation with another person, because you are the only person that's going to understand you for you. You don't always have to go look for outside sources and inputs on how you are feeling. You know deep down in your soul and in your body and spirit on how you feel, and you should express yourself accordingly. Like, you can just say it out loud. Like, don't feel ashamed to actually sit there and talk to yourself. Say how you feel, mean what you feel, express yourself, and I promise you, you will feel so much better. Like, when I'm walking around my house, like, and I'm feeling a certain type of way, I literally talk to myself sometimes. I'm like, this is getting on my nerves. Like, this is doing this. I feel this hurt. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm feeling this type of way. I express how I feel to myself, and I feel better about that, because I can actually go within myself and talk to myself and not feel like I'm crazy. Like, I'm not like sitting there having a two-person conversation with myself. No, I'm just expressing how I feel verbally, and it makes me feel better. Now, I would say I actually journal a little bit more, because I feel like especially when you live with people, it's going to be kind of harder to express how you feel verbally. But if you have some alone time, you're able to speak your feelings out loud. Like, you ever get the feeling like too much bodily emotions, and like you know how people just say they just want to scream, right? Do it. If you need to scream, scream. Like, who's going to care? Like, once you release those emotions, I promise you, you're going to feel so much better. Speak it out loud. Speak how you feel. Say how you feel, even if it's to yourself. Or if you prefer to talk to someone else, talk to someone else. You don't always have to bottle those emotions up, because the more you bottle them up, the more you're going to overthink about those emotions. Let yourself feel how you feel. Express to yourself how you feel, okay? It's going to make you feel so much better. Like, I have went from overthinking, which causes my anxiety, to actually expressing myself way more than I did a year ago. And I feel so much better to actually be able to go to myself and sit with myself and say, I feel this type of way. Even if I'm having an issue even with myself or with another person, sometimes I have to draw back and take that conversation with myself, write it down, think about it, just say it out loud, say exactly how I feel, and I'm actually able to express how I feel in a way that's not so aggressive, in a way that's not so frustrating, or a way that's going to make another person feel a certain type of way. I'm actually able to express myself authentically, and I'm actually able to express myself in a respectful manner without disrespecting someone else. And it works in so many ways. Just like, say how you feel. Do not suppress your thoughts. Do not suppress your emotions. Just say how you feel. Say it out loud and don't be afraid. Speak your truth, okay? Another way to deal with overthinking is to do an activity that's going to have you distracted, but not distracted in a way to where you avoid your emotions. Do something that's going to calm you down, kind of like a form of meditation, whether that is like yoga, working out, exercising, working out, yoga, taking a walk, running. You can actually do, like, if you do knitting, or if you do, like, y'all remember those things we used to do as a kid, like those little keychains? Those, I love those. But do something that's going to quiet your mind and have you focusing on something else, but not to the point where you're distracted. You ever like notice, like, if you work out or if you do yoga or anything like that, or if you just stretch, how clear and focused you can become? So you could actually allow yourself to focus on the thoughts that you need to focus on. So when I say distract yourself, I'm not saying distract yourself from your thoughts. I'm saying distract yourself in a way to where you can clear out anything else that's going on in the world. Do something that's going to distract you from everything that's going on in the world, to where you could be one with yourself and be with yourself and actually think about the emotions that you want to think about. Another way that you can deal with overthinking is to listen to positive affirmations, either in the morning, at night. I'm not going to say you have to strictly do it in the morning or at night. It's just the best time to do it at morning or night. And I don't even know why. I just hear a lot of people saying that. But listen to positive affirmations in the morning, at night. You can listen to positive affirmations any time of day that you feel like it. If you feel like you're about to overthink, or especially if you overthink about self-doubt and things like that, listen to positive affirmations, whether that's regarding your finances, whether that's regarding your self-esteem, whether that's regarding just anything in your life. Listen to positive affirmations, and I promise you that will help you as well. And when you're listening to the positive affirmations, what you can do is either write them down, you can say it out loud, or you can say it back to yourself. Honestly, I personally do all three. So when I'm listening to positive affirmations, what I will do is I will write it down, but as I'm writing, I'm saying it in my mind. I also will say it out loud as I write it. So I'm kind of doing a 3 combo. You know what I mean? So if you're listening, if you want to deal with overthinking, and you constantly overthink about things, about like self-doubt and how you look and how you feel about yourself and things like that, if that's the type of overthinking that you are dealing with, then you want to listen to positive affirmations. And like I said, you can write that down, say it out loud, say it back to yourself in your head, or you can do all 3 at the same time. Write it down as you're saying it and think about it as you're doing all 3, okay? And that is going to help you deal with overthinking and suppressed emotions and how you feel. And that will help eliminate stress and anxiety later on in the future. And the more you do that, which is leading to step number, I think this is step number 5, which is leading to step number 5, is reprogramming your brain to think positive thoughts. I'm not talking about positive, toxic positive thoughts to where you always just like, okay, positive. No, because sometimes you have to deal with those negative emotions. I'm not saying to always just think positive thoughts. It's going to be negative and positives in your life. You can't always just have positive. So when you have those negative things come up, there's ways that you can deal with those things. And the way that I deal with that is just by kind of like trying to reprogram my brain to think about the positive thoughts more than the negative. Sometimes you have to deal with those negative thoughts, but the way that I deal with it is, if I'm having a negative thought, let's say example, I'm telling myself that people are not going to like what I'm doing. I immediately tell myself, and this is kind of like blunt, but I immediately tell myself, Kiera, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't say it out loud, but I say it back to myself in my head, Kiera, shut the fuck up, because they're going to love what you're doing. And that thought is eliminated. And it's not going to be eliminated entirely. It's going to take some time. It's going to take time and practice to retrain your brain and retrain your thoughts. But you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. This is just ways that I deal with overthinking. I am not an expert. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that. but this is just ways that I deal with overthinking. I know some of this stuff y'all probably like, girl, that shit is not gonna work for me, but give it a try. You never know what, that's some negative thoughts creeping in, so you might want to give it a try and stop negative thinking, okay? But that is all I have for today's video. I know this video is a little bit different. I don't know, something told me to do this video, so I wrote down some notes and I decided to do this video. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to leave some comments down below on ways that you deal with overthinking if you have these issues that could help me or help anyone else out there that's watching. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel with the notifications turned on so you don't miss when I upload videos, and I will catch y'all in my next video.